What up, YouTube? It's June 14th, 2018. This week, I pretty much took an entire week off, catch up on some schoolwork. Schoolwork, you ask? Yeah, I started back to college at age 40. Don't ask me why I was insane or why I would even have that kind of idea. All I can tell you, it's been a bucket list thing for me ever since I had my first experience with college back in the early 90s. So, this week, took a little bit of time off to catch up on some study work, plenty of vacation time. I'm like, look, I really got to get cracking on some of this stuff so I can graduate, be done with everything. On the last class, it's the third exam in a series of 3 exams for a Microsoft MCSA certification. Passed the 7410, 411. Now I'm working on the 412. So, that's the 411 and the 412 are some pretty nasty tests. 411 was kind of a booger. So, but anyway, this past week I've been catching up on some schoolwork, and tonight I took a little bit of a break from that. Working on Project Mad Max here. If you don't know what Project Mad Max is, there is a link to the playlist in the description. It'll kind of take you clear back from the beginning of whenever I purchased Mad Max. It was a used King Motor X2 bought from a guy in over by Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I have slowly upgraded this thing to where it's at right now. The playlist takes you from whenever Project Insanity had its last hurrah, and I made the decision to move over to a Losi 5T type platform. This is a clone, of course. I don't give a crap if it's a clone. It still runs phenomenal. Albeit after many dollars worth of parts, learning here and there, upgrades, you name it. It is what it is today because of all of that stuff. So, this week, took off a little bit of time working on this thing. Had one of this wrap panel here along these. They're louvers in this body style. The 30 degrees north body panels have these fake louvers in it, and this wrap, if you try and just put this over it, it's complete pain in the rear. Excuse me. So I had an extra wrap, and decided to pull the old wrap panels off and redo it a little bit. So I know there have been some people I've seen on the net have just put the wrap over the louvers, which is fine, I guess. I decided to try a little bit different, and I saw this on another guy's Facebook picture that I saw of the Joker Designs wrap that I bought this from. And what he ended up doing was he made the back part of this louver here. You have to make a special cut through here, and I tried to do it as best as I could. This is their first panel that I did. And essentially, what I did was I took a razor, put the wrap on it, took the razor, made an incision from the highest point across the louver, from the bottom all the way across to the base over here, and just made an incision. And I ended up having to cut this right there and right there so it would actually fit. And it doesn't look perfect, but it's pretty close. But once you start applying heat to it, it molds to all of these contours if you make that incision right there. So what you end up doing is you'll put this across, put the vinyl wrap part across, feel where the highest point of this louver is, and just make your incision right there, and just take it all the way across and all the way down, from here all the way across and all the way down, and just slice it right there, because you're not going to end up with very much there. It's going to be hard to do anything with that. So I just ended up cutting it. It's a little bit easier to mold because you don't have a whole lot of real estate left between the edge of that louver and the edge of where the vinyl wrap is. So you can kind of see where the cut marks are. And I'm okay with that because it's a lot better than it was. But the second go at it looks much better. And essentially what I did was I learned from the first one and just took my razor, went down clear. I still made the incisions along the edge, you can see. But what I ended up doing was just taking my razor on the flat side right here, making an incision, keeping the razor up against it, using this flat piece of the louver as a guide, and it makes a very, very straight incision. And that allows you to have a more defined line across here. It's straight, and it's much easier to deal with. It just looks neater from a cosmetic standpoint too. But once you do that, just take your heat gun, which I got some spots here I still need to work out, but a hairdryer on its hottest setting. And what I ended up doing, and don't tell my wife this, but I used one of her makeup, a real small makeup brush, the end of it, the flat end, and I used that as a contour pencil. And it worked all of these plastic contours just perfect right through here. And using that heat gun to apply heat, because it activates the glue through there, it allows it to contour to that, and then once the heat it cools off, it should contour and mold to those louvers really well. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. I might put a decal across there to kind of just seal that edge up. That way it doesn't get dirt or whatnot underneath it. But I think it looks okay. It looks a lot better, like I said, a lot better than it did. This one, I was kind of experimenting with. I don't necessarily like how it turned out near as much as I like that one there. But, it is what it is. Other than that, I haven't changed diddly squat on it. Still has the OBR G340 RC reed case engine in it. Love to go big bore. It's just not in the cards yet. So the OBR is just going to stay in there, and she rips really, really well, I have to say. But it also has to do with the gearing I've got in it. I think I've got a 19 tooth or an 18 tooth pinion. I think it's a 19. I don't know. I think it's 19. We'll see here. I can't really tell. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. I think it's a 19 tooth. I think it's the factory size. But other than that, lights are hella cool, insanely bright, running off a LiPo, a little 800 milliamp hour LiPo, but I don't have it on a switch or nothing like that. Where's that button? Just a little button. You can buy those at Walmart. Pretty simple. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit of an update of Mad Max. Everybody have a great weekend. It's getting ready to be the weekend, and be good to one another. Life's too short for bad coffee. So, yeah, buddy. Peace. Later.